I know there's a lot of people here who work on the environment, so I'm going to say things that are obvious to you, but I think you may know, and if you don't know, we have been in ecological overshoot on planet Earth. We have as a human species since 1987. What that means is we've been taking more resources from the Earth than the Earth can regenerate or replace since 1987. So we're now in 30% ecological overshoot and going towards worse than that. That's like living off an ecological credit card that you cannot pay back. It's not possible to pay back. And it had to show up in the financial markets. It needed to show up. We all knew it would. In a way, this financial crisis is a huge opportunity because it's so in our face in a way that the environmental crisis seems to be like over there, social justice crisis a little bit over there, spiritual crisis a little bit over there, yet all of that's really in our face, but we don't necessarily acknowledge that. But the financial crisis, somehow we can't keep it over there. And it has our attention. And our assertion is all of this comes from the same root, and that we won't resolve that till we really get at the whole thing. We are truly heading towards a cliff. We are driving as fast as we can towards a cliff and arguing about whether the cliff is 100 feet away or 10 feet away. We aren't changing direction fast enough. We are trying to figure out whether or not who should be driving the car. We're arguing about everything but changing the direction of our lives. So the symposium does a really important job of waking people up, having them face the music, having them see what the unconscious, unexamined assumptions are that have us living life or driving this in a direction that we know it can't go any further. How to examine that, release ourselves from those unexamined assumptions, and then see the great possibility of our time. We say the symposium takes you from denial up to despair, to anger sometimes. How did it get this bad? How come nobody told us? And who's in charge here? And then to responsibility, and then ultimately to the possibility of our time, the opportunity to be alive at a time when we can live the most meaningful lives any generation of humankind has ever lived. And that the possibility of our time, although the crisis is huge, the possibility is huger, greater. And then people move into what we call inspired committed action. Paul Hawken, one of the great ecologists, says the Pachamama Alliance is, and I can show you a clip of him saying it, the most important NGO, non-governmental organization in the world, because we are tackling changing hearts and minds, and that's the job now. We won't need to sacrifice. We will benefit from the changes we need to make. It will deepen who we are, our sense of ourselves. I just finished a world tour where I delivered symposiums to 500, 700, 1,000 people in China, Hong Kong, Singapore, all over Australia, Europe. And we've just been told that there's a sheikh, a Sufi sheikh, who's gotten so turned on about the symposium, and he's invited us to do a symposium for thousands and thousands of Muslims in Algeria. This is a time when, are we going to give her a future or not? And, I know a lot now. I know sometimes I think more than I wanted to know. But now that I know it, I'm not going to not tell you. We probably have 3 years. This thing about reducing our emissions 80% by 2050. 2050? What are we talking about? Yeah. That's way too late. It needs to be 2020. And we have the next 3 to 4 years to do the things that we need to do to begin that process for real, that it happens. And it can't be tomorrow or the next day or the next day. It's now. So I invite you to join us in whatever way feels good to you. Not out of fear, but out of profound humility that we can do it. And especially people with the kind of power that you have, with the kind of heart that I know you have. We have a friend named Drew Dellinger, and he's written a poem that I'm going to try and recite the first part of, and it's this. It's 3:23 in the morning, and I'm awake because my great-great-grandfather my great-great-grandchildren ask me in dreams, what did you do when the planet was plundered? What did you do when things started to unravel? What did you do when the seasons started failing? Did you take to the streets when democracy was stolen? What